ततो जयमुदीरये नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवते उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठकी. Hare Krishna to all devotees. We're going to speak on chapter 2, which is the contents of the Gita summarized, verse 47. Karmani eva adhikaraha te ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phala hetuha bhuha ma te sangaha astu akarmani karmani eva dhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phala heturbhur ma te sangostva astva karmani karmani eva dhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phala heturbhur ma te sango astva akarmani karmani eva dhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phala heturbhur ma te sangostva akarmani. So we'll have 3 people from the men, Prabhujis, to speak the verse, and then followed by 3 from the ladies, Mataji. Karmani evadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phala heturbhur ma te sangostva karmani karmani evadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phala heturbhur ma te sangostva karmani karmani evidhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phala heturbhur ma te sangostva karmani karmani evadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phala heturbhur ma te sangostva karmani karmani evadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phala heturbhur ma te sangostva karmani. Karmani in prescribed duties. Eva certainly. Adhikaraha right. Te of you. Ma never. Phaleshu in the fruits. Kadachana at any time. Ma never. Karma phala in the result of the work. Hetuhu cause. Bhuhu become. Ma never. Te, of you. Sangaha, attachment. Astu, there should be. Akarmani, in not doing prescribed duties. We will read the purport by His Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. The English meaning first. You have a right to perform your prescribed duty, but you are not entitled to the fruits of action. Never consider yourself the cause of the results of your activities, and never be attached to not doing your duty. You'll repeat after me. You have a right to perform your prescribed duty, but you are not entitled to the fruits of action. Never consider yourself the cause of the results of your activities, and never be attached to not doing your duty. Purport. There are three considerations here: prescribed duty, capricious work, and inaction. Prescribed duties are activities enjoined in terms of one's acquired modes of material nature. Capricious work means actions without the sanction of authority, and inaction means not performing one's prescribed duties. The Lord advised that Arjuna not be inactive, but that he perform his prescribed duty without being attached to the result. One who is attached to the result of his work is also the cause of the action. Thus, he is the enjoyer or sufferer of the result of such actions. As far as prescribed duties are concerned, they can be fitted into three subdivisions, namely routine work, emergency work, and desired activities. Routine work performed as an obligation in terms of scriptural injunctions without desire for results is action in mode of goodness. Work with results becomes the cause of bondage. Therefore, such work is not auspicious. Everyone has his proprietary right in regard to prescribed duties, but should act without attachment to the result. Such disinterested, obligatory duties doubtlessly lead one to the path of liberation. Arjuna was therefore advised by the Lord to fight as a matter of duty without attachment to the result. His non-participation in the battle is another side of attachment. Such attachment never leads one to the path of salvation. Any attachment, positive or negative, is cause of bondage. Inaction is sinful. Therefore, fighting as a matter of duty was the only auspicious path of salvation for Arjuna. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnana Jana Shalakaya Chakshuran Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurue Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Shagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Shri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishmanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Paunebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So welcome everybody. I'm very grateful to be given this opportunity to try and enhance and try and understand this shloka. So I'll just repeat the English translation. You have a right to perform your prescribed duties, but you're not entitled to the fruits of action. Never consider yourself the cause of the results of your activities, and never be attached to not doing your duty. This is one of the most widely quoted verses of the Bhagavad Gita, especially the phrase karmani eva adhikarashte, which says you have a right to do your duty. This shlok is never understood properly, hardly ever. This shlok is so universal that management schools and motivational speakers quote it. But Krishna is giving Arjuna a very much more deeper wisdom here. So before I continue on this shlok, something very amazing example Srila Prabhupada gives, and it's the hen logic. Hen, chicken logic. So there was a hen that was giving golden eggs, and the front part was from the backside. The front part was not giving anything, it was just consuming food. So the owner thought the front part is useless and therefore cut off the front part. The hen was killed and there were no more golden eggs. So what am I saying here? What is Prabhupada saying? So this implies that if we only take from the Bhagavad Gita the parts that are convenient to us, which we all understand as religion of convenience, Sagvaryu Dharam, and ignore the rest, then we miss out on much of what Bhagavad Gita can offer to us. So what does Bhagavad Gita offer to us? It gives us a clear understanding, first, of who we are. Who is Krishna? What is our relation with Krishna? Who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead? Bhagavad Gita gives us the ultimate transcendental elevation. So to clearly understand this verse, we first will get completely confused by trying to understand it from the karma yoga perspective. Only after confusion will we be able to get proper clarity on this verse. So I'll start with the Varnashram Dharma. According to the Bhagavad Gita, the human society is divided into 4 divisions according to the quality of work. Quality means the material modes of nature. That division of caste system is made according to quality and work and is not hereditary. It's very important here that especially the Brahmins, there is no born Brahmin. Brahmin is only by his action and his karma, his activity, that he is a Brahmin. There are 3 qualities by which the material world is moving: the quality of goodness, passion, and ignorance. Those who are situated on the quality of goodness, they are called the Brahmins, or the intelligent class. Those are situated in the quality of passion, they are called Kshatriyas, the administrative class. Those who are situated in the mixed quality of ignorance and passion, they are called the Vaishyas, the mercantile community. And those in the mode of ignorance are the Sudras, the laborer class. You may call it caste or division of labor or division of the society. All these classes have got separate department of duty. Srila Prabhupada in the purport mentions 3 types of work: prescribed duties, capricious work, and inaction. So we'll start with the prescribed duties. Prescribed duties are activities one is meant to perform according to one's social and spiritual position in accordance to Vedic scriptures. Prabhupada has also mentioned a very interesting line here in the purport. Disinterested obligatory duties doubtlessly lead one to liberation. I'll repeat again. Just think about what I'm saying. Disinterested. So somebody is not interested in that. Obligatory, it's a must to do it. Duties lead one to liberation. These duties are obligatory, but one should not get attached in doing them. We are just doing them because we must do them. Best example, when taking medicine. How many of us really are interested in taking medicine? We take them because we've been prescribed for our illness, and we don't have a choice because we want to get cured from our illness. So we take the medicine, but we have no wish of taking the medicine. Similarly, we work because it has been prescribed. This should be our mood when we work. We should not be in the bondage of that work. So 4 key teachings of the verse. Karmani eva adhikaraste. You have a right to your duty. Krishna is saying your right is to perform your prescribed duties. Adhikar means right. Karma refers to work. So you have a right to work. People usually view work as a responsibility than a right. Duty means swadharma. The responsibilities we are born with. A parent, for example, a parent caring for children, a student studying sincerely, a doctor treating patients, a devotee chanting and serving. The second line in the verse is Ma phaleshu kadachana. Do not be entitled to the fruits of your action. But here Krishna takes the opposite approach, stating Ma phaleshu kadachana. You do not have a right to the result. Do the duty. You have a right to the duty, but not to the result. Naturally, when one works, every work is done with the result as an objective. Most people assume they have a right to the fruits of their work. For example, after working throughout the month, they expect to receive their salary as a matter of entitlement. While we usually think of work as a responsibility and the results as our right, Krishna inverts this conventional perspective. He emphasizes that our right lies in performing the work itself, but we have no entitlement to its outcome. So, for example, if we are told that we have no right to the results, a natural question arises, why should I work at all? In general, people think that the least possible effort, I should get the maximum result. We only care for the results. Minimum effort, maximum results. So, an example that I have started here, but I will complete later. So, for example, we are cooking prasadam. So, for a big festival like Janmashtami, so we're cooking for Krishna. And the cook says, Ma phaleshu kadachana. I don't care about the result. Whether the sweet tastes good, the food is tasty or not. I don't care. Arjuna could have said that. I will fight. Ma phaleshu kadachana. I don't care who wins. Is that what Krishna means? This is a misunderstanding. Ma phaleshu kadachana does not mean that one should not care for the result at all. For us, it is the desire for the result that motivates us in the material world. It is not wrong that we seek a particular result. The idea is we do our duties not just for that result. We work, but we are constantly thinking, what will I get out of this? Promotion, praise, success. Krishna wants, do not be attached to the fruits. The third line, Ma karma phala heturbhur. Do not think you are the cause of the results. Krishna reminds us, don't be the cause of your activities, the doer. Then you will be bound by the interaction of your activity. You don't be the cause, then effect will not touch you. Effect can be good or bad. It will not touch you if you are not the cause. This may seem counterintuitive because logically effort leads to results. If a student studies hard, he gets good marks. If a batsman plays well, the team wins. He's the doer. But is that so? So, Bhagavad Gita, chapter 3, slok 27. Prakrite kriya manani gune karmani sarvashaha ahankara vimudatma kartatham iti manyate. The spirit soul, bewildered by the influence of false ego, thinks himself the doer of activities that are actually carried out by the three modes of material nature. So here, Krishna is saying that it is the three modes of material nature that is the doer. Activity is sanctioned by Krishna and the doer is the material modes of nature. So when Krishna says, don't think yourself to be the cause of the fruit, it means that the results in this world do not depend alone on your efforts. Success comes only when multiple factors align in our favor. For example, a student, he gives exams, he works very hard, but so many other factors are there. Maybe he could fall ill before the exam. Maybe the teacher was not in a very good mood whilst marking the paper. Maybe somebody typing the result is not typed it correctly, or the weather, he could not reach the school at all. So there are so many factors that are not in his control. Any number of things could go wrong. So the point is, there are so many factors that have to align for the result to come. Therefore, we cannot think of ourselves as the sole cause of the result. While our effort is essential, many factors influence the outcome of our endeavor. Recognizing that we are not the sole cause of the result frees us from pride and depression. Pride arises when we succeed and think, I did it. But when we acknowledge that our role was just one among many contributing factors, we remain humble. At the same time, this understanding protects us from dejection when results don't go as expected. So in this world, everybody is following the result. Depression is very active. Why? Why is it active? Because it's all following success. But everybody is not meant to be successful in everything. And suddenly they don't get a good mark. They're not done well in something. And there is depression. So by shifting our perspective in this way, we come to recognize the role of higher forces in shaping outcomes, getting both humility and resilience. The fourth line, Mate Sango Astava Karmani. Do not be attached to inaction. So, Prabhupada talks about this in the purport, negative attachment. What is negative attachment? There's positive attachment, which is you attach to the fruits and therefore you attach positively. But negative attachment, so I know what the result of this action is. I know the result is undesirable. I know there is a problem ahead. Therefore, I don't want to work. Arjuna knew very well that if I fight, if I win, I'll have to kill my relatives. If I lose, I'll have to die. So either way, both results, according to him, were undesirable. Therefore, he did not want to fight. Krishna warns, do not fall into inaction. Inaction is sinful. Krishna is talking about performing duty without getting attached to the results. When a person is working with attachment to the result, he becomes the cause of that result. Since he is the cause, he must enjoy or suffer the result of that particular action, the karma. But if we cut this link, where the person is now working, but not attached to the result, since he is not attached to the result, he will not be the cause, and therefore he will not suffer or enjoy the result of the action. Some people misinterpret, if results don't belong to me, why should I work at all? That's laziness, not yoga. When a student is told to appear for the exam, but you will not get any marks for it, you won't get any credit or certificate, he thinks, why should I have to go and sit the exam? There's no need, there's nothing to it. You should not think like this. Now this is where the real confusion is. Till now I have just said the theory. Now let's talk about the practical application. Okay, so think of yourself as a businessman and somebody has a business idea. Okay, and you have a business idea and somebody tells, okay, so go and do this. So what's the first thing we are going to do? We're going to do a risk analysis, profit and loss statement we are going to do. Is this worth it? How much is the growth potential? I'm a businessman, so that's why I'm saying this. We are going to do the full dissection of that idea, that is it worth it? Now, if I am told that, hang on, don't worry about the profit, don't worry about anything, don't be the doer. How is this practically possible? Which activity can we do without the result? I have another very good example. So in my days, in university, in school, I had mastered the art of giving exams. How? I started first understanding who the examiner is. What is this person thinking? What does he want? What are his favorite topics? Master that. Learning was secondary. First idea was, let's go and get the top result. Minimum effort, maximum results. Another example, an expat being offered a job in Kenya. So the first question you're going to ask is, what is the package? Naturally so, what is the package? I mean, you could be earning more wherever you are from rather than Kenya. Is it worth for you to come here? Example of a student. Before he goes to university, he will check out about whether that degree that he is going to do, is there even a job after that? Is the job well paying? Is it worth it? Is there demand for the job? Naturally, he is looking at the result even before the activity. All material activities are first linked to result before even the activity. The person is always the doer. That's when he can link himself to the success. How would you motivate yourself to the activity without any calculation of the result? Confused? I was very confused as well. Didn't make any sense to me. So this doesn't make sense, does it? So what is Krishna trying to say? What is that deeper meaning here? The answer is disguised bhakti yoga. And that's the only thing he's talking about here, if you really go deep down. So let's try and understand this from a completely different angle. We've understood the material modes of nature, how based on them we get our prescribed duties. We have also understood that the three modes of material nature are the doer of the activities. Bhagavad Gita 3.27, I just read it. So most people make the mistake of understanding this verse based on karma yoga. I had mentioned the hen example. So everybody says the first line, karmani eva adhikaraste, I have a right to the action. And he does not mention the other three lines. Not to the fruitive result, he's not the doer, don't be attached to the inaction. So he's taken the golden egg and only wants the golden egg, but nothing else to do with it, the hen. Most people make the mistake of understanding this verse based on karma yoga. If you think from the angle of karma yoga, this verse will never make sense. But the reality is that Krishna and Srila Prabhupada are totally directing us towards bhakti yoga, or service for the pleasure of Krishna. Now let's read verse 2.45. So there was just two verses before. Traigunya vishaya veda nishtraigunya bhavarjuna nirdvandvo nitya sattvastho niryoga shema atmavan. The Vedas deal mainly with the subject of the three modes of material nature. O Arjuna, become transcendental to these three modes. Be free from all dualities and from all anxieties for gain and safety, and be established in the self. Now this is where the secret was. All material activities involve action and reaction in the three modes of material nature. They are meant for fruitive results which cause bondage in the material world. So Arjuna is advised to raise himself and become transcendental to these three modes of material nature. Be free from all dualities and anxieties and be established in the self. This transcendental position is achieved in full Krishna consciousness when one is fully dependent on the goodwill of Krishna. What does this mean? So work should be performed in this world not for material results, yes, but spiritual results. How can work produce any spiritual result? So that depends on the kind of work it is. If one is doing one's own activity not according to scriptures but according to worldly standards of good and bad, what is right and wrong according to worldly standards, material world standards, then the activity will continue only at the material level. But if one understands and practices spiritual knowledge, then one understands that I am the soul and I must rise to the level of the soul. How does one rise to the level of the soul? So the constitutional position of the soul is to serve Krishna and Krishna alone. When one understands and implements this in his activity, naturally his activity will only be to serve and please Krishna. When we work in this world with this basic spiritual understanding, it enables us to grow in our understanding and knowledge, spiritual understanding and spiritual knowledge. The purpose of action is not just acquiring fruit, but it is the growth of spiritual wisdom. One should always remember that he is the servant of Krishna. In this way, by this consciousness, he remains detached. He does not think himself as the cause of the action, and he will not work for the fruit of the action. The false ego says, I am the cause of success. But the wise know, without Krishna's mercy, nothing moves. This understanding saves us from pride in success and depression in failure. We remain humble at all times. If you really understand this shloka deeply, Krishna is only talking about Bhakti Yoga, not Karma Yoga, not Jnana Yoga. Realistically, there is no Karma Yoga which does not have reaction. Srila Prabhupada connects everything in the Bhagavad Gita to its ultimate conclusion, and that is Bhakti Yoga. Therefore, we should connect everything to Krishna consciousness. So when somebody is surrendered to Krishna, he works only for the pleasure of Krishna. He knows Krishna is the supreme enjoyer. I'll quote chapter 5, verse 29. Bhoktaram yajna tapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram shudram sarva bhutanam gnatva mam shantim rachati. A person in full consciousness of me, knowing me to be the ultimate beneficiary of all sacrifices and austerities, the supreme lord of all planets and demigods, and the benefactor and well-wisher of all living entities, attains peace from the pangs of material miseries. Chapter 9, verse 27. Yat karoshi, yad ashnashi, yad juoshi, dadashi yat. Yat tapyashi, konteya, tat kurushva mad aparnam. Whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer or give away, whatever austerities you perform, do that, O son of Kunti, as an offering to me. Now let's try and analyze the original verse, and it will make proper sense. Now, karmani evadakaraste. You have a right to do your duty for the pleasure of Krishna. Ma phaleshu kadachana. Don't get attached to the results, to the fruits. If you are working for Krishna's pleasure, where is the question of getting attached to the fruit? Ma karma phala heturbur. Don't be the cause of your activity. When working for Krishna's pleasure, a devotee will never think himself as the doer. He always knows that it is Krishna's mercy and Krishna is the only doer. Mate sango astva karmani. Don't be attached to inaction. A devotee who only thinks about Krishna and how to serve him, he is constantly thinking of serving him. He has constant spiritual anxiety of how to serve Krishna. Therefore, for the devotee, where is the question of inaction? So how does this apply to Arjuna? When faced with the battle, if he thinks he'll be killing his relatives, he will fall either into attachment or aversion. So either if he fights and he kills, there's nothing for him in the material thinking, material way of thinking, it was a loss. But Krishna explains to him that this is a win-win. But first he started explaining materially that if you win, you will get the earthly kingdom, material. Or if you die, you will get the heavenly planets. But then Krishna countered that what's the use of those heavenly planets? Because you're still not free from the cycle of birth, death, old age and disease. So his only option was to fight for Krishna's pleasure. That was the only activity that he was supposed to do. So now I come to that original example. So what happens when a devotee cooks for Krishna? Ma phaleshu kadachana. No. He wants to cook well because it is for Krishna. However, that is not his primary objective. Primary objective is to please Krishna. And Krishna is pleased not by the result, but by the endeavor. So even if the result is not perfect, eventually he will perfect it. But the endeavor, the effort that he has put, the bhav he has put in cooking that food is what it pleases Krishna. If we do our service wholeheartedly, then even if we don't get the best result, Krishna is pleased because we gave it our best effort. Hanumanji in Ramayana, when Lord Ram sent Hanumanji to search for Mata Sita, Hanuman leapt across the ocean. He did not think, what if I fail? He simply acted in Rama's service. Whether success or failure, his effort was offered to Ram. That spirit made him glorious. So let's go even a little bit more practical. So what about neophyte devotees or new aspiring devotees like myself? So first thing is faith. Have faith. Krishna clearly says that without faith you cannot progress. Be submissive when learning. If you have an attitude of knowing everything, you cannot learn the Bhagavad Gita. But if you are submissive to your Guru, if you are submissive to learning the Bhagavad Gita, you will understand the Bhagavad Gita. 2. Follow the 4 regulative principles. Therefore, you stop committing sin. So 4 regulative principles are no gambling, no intoxication, no meat eating, and no illicit sex. When you follow the 4 regulative principles, you will stop working for your sense gratification. What are most of us doing? We are working like hogs day and night. So the whole day we are working like hogs to make the money, only to enjoy for our senses at night. And we commit all the 4 sins, and we can never come out from that entanglement. So stop working for your sense gratification. When you stop working for your senses, you will realize that you do not need to work like a hog. You will be simple. We call it simple living, higher thinking. Your needs will be simpler. You will start to develop an attitude of contribution. At this point, it is very important to connect to Krishna. This is very important. Prabhupada says, so one of the regulative principles is no meat eating. So there are so many of us who are very proud, I am a vegetarian. Prabhupada says we are not vegetarians, we are Krishnatarians. Even a cow, a goat, a sheep, a horse, a donkey is also vegetarian. How do we differentiate ourselves from all those animals? They are also vegetarians, they only eat grass. An elephant is also vegetarian. So how are we different? We are different because we only eat Krishna Prasadam. We have connected ourselves to Krishna. So Prabhupada says we are Krishnatarians, not vegetarians. 3rd, chant Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Chant Hare Krishna and do your 16 rounds of chanting as prescribed by Srila Prabhupada. Follow his teachings, Prabhupada's teachings. Read the Bhagavad Gita, the Srimad Bhagavatam. Take association of sadhu and guru. 4th, do all your activity as an offering to Krishna. Act sincerely and offer everything to Krishna and remain peaceful in all outcomes. When we follow this, life becomes simple and anxiety free. We do our best, leave the rest to Krishna. There's one example before I complete, and it's for my friend who is here, who loves playing paddle. So, how do you spiritualize that activity? Playing paddle is very good, but how do you convert from material to the spiritual? How do you bring it to Krishna consciousness? Include that in Krishna consciousness. Or, for example, going to the gym. So, when we go to the gym, we think, hey Krishna, I am not doing this to build my muscle or become, having six-pack. But I am doing this so that till my last day, I can go down on the floor and do Dandvat Pranam. I can serve you till my last breath. I don't want to sit on a wheelchair inactive thinking what could I have done. But I want to be fit so that I can serve Krishna for his pleasure. And same thing for paddle, that we spiritualize that activity. The idea is not to win. The idea is not the doer. The idea is don't do it for fame. The idea is do that also for Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Any questions, anybody?
Srila Prabhupada is giving on this verse one example of the businessman. There was one businessman who was making a lot of money. So making the money, but he was noticed from the government. The government was taxing a lot of to him. So almost 90% money was taken away from him as a tax to government. So then he stopped working. So why I should work? All money is going in the tax. So Srila Prabhupada is saying sometimes person, if you don't understand this meaning of the spiritual activities and material activities, sometimes it leads to the impersonalism. Impersonalism means why I should work. If the result is giving me, result supposed to be given someone, should not be attached with the result. The result should, I should not be attached with the result, I should not be cause of the result, so why I should work. That leads the impersonalism to become one with the God, nothing, no work, nothing. But once a person understand spiritual activities, so in spiritual activities there is no inaction, is a very the devotees of the Lord are very, very active, even more than materialistic people. Devotees, materialistic people, they work 8 hours. After 8 hours and the week, end of the week, they become retired, they want to go relax, where there is no phone, where there is no work, nothing. That is called, then again they start working. So it is like a pendulum. It is called bhog and tyag. This is called a sense enjoyer and the impersonalism. To be away from the things and then enjoy the things. So devotees of the Lord not enjoying, not being away from the work. So devotees of the Lord 365 days, 24 hours, always Krishna consciousness. They sleeping for Krishna, they working for Krishna, making money for Krishna, they talking for Krishna. There is no holidays. There is no holiday. Like you tell, even if he is doing the gym, also he has the some meaning of doing gym. Just a very nice example. I am doing this to be healthy, to serve Krishna, but same time there is a lot of chances are there to be entangled. So we have to be very careful. That's why we have always need the association of devotees. Like when you are doing the saying, I am running for the Krishna, but whole day you are just running. Forget to chant, forget to attend the class, forget to do the devotional service, the whole day running for Krishna. So that is also sometimes is misguide. So that is why always sadhu sang. That is very, very, very important. Always devotees keeps themselves in association of devotees. That protects. That's why Bhaktivinoda Thakur saying, saying, I cannot get the strength without the Nama Sankirtan, without the association of devotees. I cannot get the spiritual strength without being in association of devotee to chant. Alone you chanting, after some time it mislead you. When you are chanting with the devotees, working with the devotees, in association of devotees, then you are always reminded the purpose of life to not be deviated. That is why the impersonalist, like for example, somebody was giving the example, there was once very rich sadhu, businessman in India. Somebody was giving, he was giving the example, Jain. He was Jain sadhu person. He was Jain, he renounced, he became Jain sadhu. That is called impersonalism. Jain sadhu means what? He was working, now he leave everything, no working. No working. But devotees of the Lord is not like that. Devotees of the Lord are working 365 days, 24 hours, and 7 days, no holidays. No holidays. Because they are working, they are living for the Krishna. So this verse is very powerful.
Very powerful. And it is very easy to get misled in this verse.
Yes, yes. Most of the people, they don't understand meaning of this verse. Many learned people, they don't know this meaning of this. But if Prabhupada lectures and this, even purport and even there is a lot of lectures are given on this verse. When you read, then all these things can come. Otherwise, even most learned person cannot understand this verse. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. Jai.